The smell of burnt chocolate and spicy chilies filled the kitchen, but the secret was gone. My grandmother's recipe book was open on the table, but the most important page had been torn out. Imagine you have only 24 hours to save your family's business. Imagine your only hope is a recipe that has been lost for 50 years. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Enjoy English Stories. Today, we are traveling to the vibrant, colorful streets of Oaxaca, Mexico. We are using the shadowing technique. This is the best way to improve your English speaking flow. You must speak with me. Do not just listen, imitate my voice, my pace, and my energy. Today's story is about Sofia. She is a young chef who must find a missing ingredient to win a famous cooking competition. In this story, you will learn words about food, traditions, and family. Are you ready to find the secret flavor? Let's begin. My name is Sofia. I am 27 years old, and I live in the beautiful, sun-drenched city of Oaxaca. My world is a constant mixture of bright colors, loud mariachi music, and the most amazing, mouth-watering smells in the world. I grew up in my grandmother's kitchen, a place that felt like the heart of our home. She owned a small, famous restaurant called the Heart of the Chili. It was a small building with blue walls and clay floors, filled with the laughter of happy customers. Every morning, I woke up to the rhythmic sound of her heavy wooden spoon hitting the side of the metal pot. Thump, thump, thump. It was the heartbeat of the restaurant. She made the best mole in all of Mexico. For those who don't know, mole is a very complex, rich sauce made with many different layers of flavor. It includes several types of dried chilies, nuts, seeds, cinnamon, and even dark chocolate. It is a dish that requires time, love, and a very specific balance. If one ingredient is missing, the whole dish falls apart. But my grandmother, my beloved abuela, passed away last year. Ever since she left us, the restaurant has been in deep trouble. People still come to eat, but they whisper to each other. They say our food is good, but it is not magical like it used to be. It is missing that special spark that made people travel from other cities just for one plate. Now, the bills are piling up, and the kitchen feels cold. The biggest challenge of my life is happening tomorrow. A very famous and very serious food critic, Mr. Santiago, is coming to the city for a grand cooking competition. If I win this competition, our restaurant will become famous again, and we will get the money we need to stay open. If I lose, I will have to close the doors of the Heart of the Chili forever. I spent all night looking through Wheeler's old, stained recipe book. I followed every step perfectly. I measured the almonds, the sesame seeds, and the cloves. But when I reached the end, my heart stopped. The final page, the one with the secret ingredient and the final instructions, had been torn out years ago. I looked at the cold stove and felt a heavy weight in my chest. I felt like crying. I need help, abuela, I whispered to the empty kitchen. Then, I remembered an old story. My grandmother used to talk about her sister, Aunt Elena, who lived in a tiny, isolated village high in the mountains. They were very close as children, but they hadn't spoken for over 20 years because of a silly family argument. I realized that Aunt Elena was the only person left in the world who might know the full, original recipe. I didn't waste a single minute. I grabbed my keys, got into my old, dusty car, and started driving toward the mountains. The road was narrow, winding, and covered in thick dust. As I drove, I passed vast fields of blue agave plants and small, colorful houses with chickens running in the yards. Drive, turn, climb. Drive, turn, climb. The air became cooler and thinner as I went higher into the green peaks. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel. I was nervous. Would she even talk to me after 20 years of silence? After 3 hours of driving, I finally reached a small, humble house with a bright yellow door. An old woman with long, silver hair was sitting on the porch, slowly grinding corn on a stone metate. "Aunt Elena?" I asked as I stepped out of the car. She looked up, and for a second, I thought I was looking at a ghost. Her eyes were exactly like my grandmother's, sharp, kind, and full of wisdom. "You have your grandmother's hands, and her stubborn chin," she said quietly, as if she had been expecting me. I sat with her and told her everything: the restaurant, the competition, the missing page, and the fading magic of our family kitchen. She listened in silence, watching the birds and the trees. Finally, she smiled a sad, gentle smile. "Your grandmother was a very proud woman, Sofia. She didn't want to tell you the secret directly because she wanted you to find it yourself through hard work. But time is short, and the restaurant is too important to lose." She stood up and took me to her garden behind the house. It wasn't a garden of bright flowers, it was a wild garden of green herbs and ancient plants. She walked to a small, dry bush and picked a single leaf from a plant I didn't recognize. It had a sharp, earthy smell. "This is it," she said. "The wild oregano that only grows on this specific mountain. But the secret isn't just the leaf, Sofia. The secret is the smoke." She sat me down and explained that my grandmother didn't just boil the sauce on a modern stove. She roasted the dried chilies over a very specific type of wood, mesquite wood, until they were almost black and smelled like a campfire. This gave the chocolate a deep, mysterious, smoky flavor that no one else could ever copy. It wasn't about the spice, it was about the fire. I thanked her with a long hug and drove back down the mountain through the dark night. I arrived back at the restaurant at 4 o'clock in the morning, exhausted but determined. I didn't sleep. I started the fire in the old brick oven using the mesquite wood Elena had given me. I roasted the chilies one by one until the kitchen was filled with thick, dark, rich smoke that made my eyes water. I ground the spices by hand, just like a boiler did. I added the wild oregano. Stir, taste, wait. Stir, taste, wait. The sauce bubbled slowly for hours. When the sun finally came up over the city of Oaxaca, the mole was ready. It was dark, thick, and it sparkled like brown velvet under the light. I dipped a tortilla into the pot, tasted it, and gasped. The magic was back. It was the exact taste of my childhood, smoky, sweet, and powerful. The competition began at noon in the city square. The heat was intense, and hundreds of people were watching. Mr. Santiago, the critic, arrived in a sharp white suit. He looked very bored and very difficult to please. He tasted dishes from 5 other chefs first. Then, he walked to my table. My heart was beating so fast I could hear it in my own ears like a drum. I served him a simple plate of turkey with the dark mole sauce. He took a small bite. Then another. He sat in total silence for a long time, looking at the plate. He didn't say a word. Finally, he looked up at me and a small smile appeared on his face. "This," he said to the crowd, "is not just food. This is a memory. I can taste the mountains, the smoke, and the history of Oaxaca in this sauce. This is the true heart of Mexico." I won the competition. The trophy was beautiful, but the best part was seeing the line of people standing outside our restaurant the next morning. The heart of the chili was saved. I even invited Aunt Eleanor to come and work with me. We fixed the family argument, and now the kitchen is full of laughter again. I am Sofia, and I learned that you cannot find the path to the future if you forget the secrets and stories of the past. Life is like a good sauce, it needs time, it needs fire, and most importantly, it needs a little bit of smoke. What a delicious and heartwarming story. Sofia saved her family's tradition by reaching back into her history. Did you enjoy the trip to Mexico? Did you feel the heat of the kitchen and the smoke of the mesquite wood? Now, let's practice your shadowing. This is a long story with many descriptive words, so it is perfect for improving your vocabulary and your speaking rhythm. Go back to the beginning. Play the story again and repeat every sentence with me. Focus on the words vibrant, tradition, competition, and ingredient. Try to imagine the smell of the smoky chocolate and the spicy chilies as you speak. If you loved this story, please subscribe to Enjoy English Stories. It helps us create more adventures for you. Tell us in the comments. What is your favorite family dish? What is the secret ingredient in your home? And do you like spicy food? I can't wait to read your comments and learn about your culture. Thank you for practicing with me today. Your English is getting better with every story. See you in the next lesson.